Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I am going to tell about many computer science topic from basic to advanced. Today, I am going to continue DBMS from where I had left. Today, I am going to continue from types of mapping cardinality. There are four types of mapping cardinality: one-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, many-to-one relationship, and many-to-many relationship. Coming to the first one-to-one relationship. What is one-to-one relationship? An entity set A is associated with one entity in set B, and the entity in B is associated with utmost entity in A. One example of one-to-one relationship are a country has only one president, a department has only one HOD. Now coming to the second one, that is one to many relationship. An entity set A is associated with any number of entities in entity set B, but an entity in entity set B can be associated with at most one entity in set A. Example of one to many relationship are a manager has many employees but an employee works under one manager. A teacher teaches many subjects but a subject has been taught by one teacher. Now coming to the third one, that is many to one relationship. An entity in entity set A is associated with at most one entity in entity set B, and one entity in entity set B is associated with any number of entity in entity set A. Coming to the example of many to one relationship, an employee can work on single project whereas project can be assigned to more than one employee. Now coming to the last one, that is many to many relationship. An entity in entity set A is associated with number of entities in entity set B, and an entity in entity set B is associated with any number of entities in entity set A. Coming to the example of many to many relationship, many customer can purchase many items. Now these are the symbols for ER diagram. Here are the some symbols related to the ER diagram. Now coming to the constraints. What are constraints? Relational constraints are the restriction imposed on the database contents and operation. They ensure the correctness of data in the database. Now coming to the types of constraint. There are four types of constraint. First, domain constraint. Second, key constraint or uniqueness constraint. Third, entity integrity constraint. Fourth, differential integrity constraint. Now coming to the first one, that is domain constraint. Domain constraint define the domain or set of values for an attribute. It specifies that the value taken by the attribute must be atomic value from its domain. Now coming to the second one, that is key constraint. Keys are the entity that is used to identify an entity within its entity set uniquely. An entity set can have multiple keys, but out of which one key will be the primary key. A primary key can contain a unique and null values in the referential table. Now coming to the third one, that is entity integrity constraint. Entity integrity constraint states that primary key value can't be null. This is because the primary key value is used to identify individual rows in the relation, and if the primary key has null value, then we can't identify these rows. Now coming to the last one, that is referential integrity constraint. It specifies that all the values taken by the foreign key must either be available in the relation or the primary key or be null. Now coming to the DBMS keys. A key is the set of attributes that can identify each tuple uniquely in the given relation. Now coming to the types of key. Superkey. A superkey is a set of attributes that can identify each tuple uniquely in the given relation. A superkey may consist of any number of attributes. Now coming to candidate key. a set of minimal attributes that can identify each tuple uniquely in the given relation is called a candidate key. Now coming to the third, that is primary key. A primary key is a candidate key that the database designer selects while designing the database. Primary keys are unique and not null. Now coming to the fourth one, that is alternate key. Candidate keys that are left unimplemented or unused after implementing the primary key are called as alternate keys. Now coming to foreign key. An attribute X is called as foreign key to some other attribute Y when its values are dependent on the values of attribute Y. The relation in which attribute Y is present is called as the referenced relation. The relation in which X is present is called as the referencing relation. Now coming to the next one, that is composite key. A primary key composed of multiple attributes and not just a single attribute is called a composite key. Now coming to the last one, that is unique key. It is unique for all the records of the table. Once assigned, its value cannot be changed. That is, it is non-updatable. It may have a null value. Now coming to the types of entity set. There are two types of entity set: strong entity set, weak entity set. Now coming to the strong entity set. A strong entity set is an entity set that contains sufficient attribute to uniquely identify all its entities. In other words, a primary key exists for a strong entity set. Primary key of a strong entity set is represented by underlining it. Now coming to weak entity set. A weak entity set is an entity set that does not contain sufficient attribute to uniquely identify its entities. In other words, a primary key does not exist for a weak entity set. However, it contains a partial key called a discriminator. Discriminator can identify a group of entities from the entity set. Discriminator is represented by underlining with a dashed line. Thank you. That's all for today from my side. If you like my video, then like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.